Let's take a look at number 21. We got f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3 at the point 2,5. And we want to find the slope of the graph. Slope of the tangent line. Well, need to find our derivative. Now within that we need to identify f of x. Well, f of x is given. That's the easy part. So we've got 2x squared minus 3. Our second substep was to find f of x plus h. So we're going to plug in x plus h everywhere we have an x. So I replace this x set of parentheses and put x plus h in there. Well, that's x plus h times x plus h minus 3. X times x is x squared, x times h is hx, h times x is hx, h times h is h squared. Combine together like terms, hx plus hx is 2hx, plus h squared minus 3. Oops, my parentheses. Now multiply the 2 through, and I got 2x squared plus 4hx plus 2h squared minus 3. Next thing we need to do is plug it into a formula. Our derivative is going to equal to limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So we plugged in what we just identified. So we got limit as h goes to 0. F of x plus h we said was 2x squared plus 4hx plus 2h squared minus 3 minus f of x, which was 2x squared minus 3 all over h. Well, negative out in front of your parentheses flips the sign of everything inside. So, just as I get there, the 2x squared becomes a negative 2x squared. The negative 3 becomes a positive 3. Now combine together like terms. We got 2x squared minus 2x squared. Those cancel. We got negative 3 plus 3. Those are going to cancel. So we get limit as h goes to 0 of 4hx plus 2h squared all over h. Now we're going to factor an h out of the top part. So factor an h out, and that leaves us 4x plus 2h over h. We do that so these h's will cancel. And our main problem was the h down denominator, which we just got rid of. So we get left with 4x plus 2h. Now we're going to plug 0 in for h. So I got 4x plus 2 times 0, which just gives us 4x for a derivative. Okay, step 2. Change your my derivative notation to m and plug in the x part of a point. X part of a point. This is x, this is y, so we're going to plug in 2 for the x. So we've got 4 times 2, so m is equal to 8. And that's our answer. Excuse me. Let's look at the next one. 33 is one you had a question on. Got f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 5x. And the instructions here are just to use the limit definition to find derivative. So our just finding the derivative, our first step is to identify f of x. And that's given. So we've got 4x squared minus 5x. Our second step is to find f of x plus h. And this is just evaluating a function, so I'm going to go through this, and everywhere I have an x, I'll put it in parentheses. Everything else remains exactly the same. Whatever's inside of parentheses here is what we put in over here. So I'll put in x plus h here and x plus h here. Now this is x plus h squared, so we got x plus h times x plus h. And this is distributive property. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times h is negative 5h. Multiply x plus h times x plus h. X times x is x squared. X times h is hx. H times x is hx. And h times h is h squared. Minus 5x minus 5h. Which gives us 4 times, combine together like terms, hx plus hx is 2hx. Plus h squared minus 5x minus 5h. Multiply the 4 through. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times 2hx is 8hx. 4 times h squared is 4h squared minus 5x minus 5h. Step 3. Plug it into our formula. We got limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So we got limit as h goes to 0, f of x plus h is 4x squared plus 8hx plus 4h squared minus 5x minus 5h minus, and then I'll put inside of parentheses the f of x, which was 4x squared minus 5x all over h. So we got limit as h goes to 0 of 4x squared plus 8hx plus 4h squared minus 5x minus 5h. And remember, a negative out in front of your parentheses flips the sign of everything inside, so that becomes a negative 4x squared plus 5x all over h. Now combine together like terms. 4x squared minus 4x squared cancels. Negative 5x plus 5x is going to cancel. So with left with limit as h goes to 0 of 8hx plus 4h squared minus 5h. Let me double check that. I guess there's only 3 things left over h. Now the top part, they all have a h in common, so I can factor out an h. And that leaves us 8x plus 4h minus 5 all over h. Those h is going to cancel. And so then we have limit as h goes to 0 of 8x plus 4h minus 5. And now we're ready to plug 0 in for the h. So I got 8x plus 4 times 0 minus 5, which gives us 8x minus 5 for our derivative. Excuse me. Okay, let me turn to the next page here and we'll look at your last question. Okay, number 41. F of x is equal to 1/2 x squared at the point 2, 2. And here we want to find the equation of the tangent line. So our first step there is to find derivative. First substep within that is to identify f of x. That's the easy one, it's given. F of x is equal to 1/2 x squared. Our next substep is to find f of x plus h. So wherever we have an x, we'll put in parentheses. This is just evaluating a function. Whatever's inside this parentheses, what we put in here. So that'll be x plus h squared. X plus h squared we have to rewrite as x plus h times x plus h. Multiply those together. X times x is x squared. X, well, we've already done this in the previous 2 examples, so I won't show all the steps. But it gives us x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. Multiply the 1/2 through, and we get 1/2 x squared plus 1/2 times 2 is 1, so that drops away and gives us hx plus 1/2 h squared. Then our formula for our derivative. We got the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So we got limit as h goes to 0, f of x plus h is 1/2 x squared plus hx plus 1/2 h squared minus f of x, which was 1/2 x squared, all over h. So that gives us limit as h goes to 0. The 1/2 x squared here will cancel with this negative 1/2 x squared. And what's left I can factor an h out of. So factor an h out of the hx and out of the 1/2 h squared. Now when I do that, these h's are going to cancel. And I got limit as h goes to 0 of x plus 1/2 h. Now I'm ready to plug my 0 in from h, so I got x plus 1/2 times 0, which just gives us x. Okay, step 2. Change your your derivative notation to m and plug in the x part of your point. This is x and this is y. Our x part is 2, so plug 2 in for x. Okay, step 3. Plug in the given point for x and y. Remember we said x was 2 and y was 2, so put 2 in for that. M, we just said was in step 2 was 2, and x is 2. Everything's 2, plus b. 2 times 2 is 4. Take the 4 to the left side, we got 2 minus 4. Or we got b is equal to negative 2. Now step 4 is actually write our answer down. So we plug in the b the m we found in step 2, which was 2. We found the b we found in step 3, which was negative 2. And our answer is y is equal to 2x minus 2.